What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And as you can tell, I am inside the bird today. Now today I'm going to move on to the driver's side. If you've seen the last video, I did the staring right at it, I can't say it right now, the inner rocker and this inner wheelhouse patch. Now I went ahead and I got the rocker mounted up, but it's not burned in yet on the driver's side. But I'm not going to show you guys that again. What we're going to be doing is this inner quarter patch. So you can see here, she's pretty rotted out. I did start, when I did the outer rocker, I welded the back here, and in my head I was just going to replace the front half of this. After cutting out the bad part of the inner wheelhouse on this side, I did mangle it up here, plus it is thin, it was rusty. So since then, I've now decided I'm going to go straight across. Well, with doing that poses an issue. I'm not sure if it's going to be a major issue, but these 4 welds are technically all that hold the rocker to the car right now. Other than, I think I got 1 or 2 self-tappers on the dog leg section on the quarter panel just to hold it in place. So to kind of prep myself, I've had those jacks supporting the back end of this car, but I added this extra one here and just put a little bit of pressure. I didn't try and lift the car. Now I do have the door braced. I never removed that, so I'm hoping that between those 2 jacks, the roof and this bar, nothing is going to shift, because I'm going to cut this all free again and we're going to put this patch in. So my grinder pretty much crapped the bed on me. What I am going to use is my belt sander. It gets the job done, but it's not as fast. I do not want to do too much damage to the outer rocker. I'm going to slowly work these 4 welds that I did off, and then we'll get to cutting. Now, there's a brace in this area, as I said earlier, so when I cut here, I need to be careful. I don't care about the inner quarter, door jamb area of the quarter, because I'm replacing that. But in here, there's a brace in there that I'm trying to save. I don't know if you can see my mark here, it's kind of funky. Instead of being straight across, I came down lower than I wanted to, because there's a little divot there. Working on this car and looking into these early F-bodies, I've learned that little divots are usually there for certain options. Now, I did pick up power window regulators, and I don't know if that's what that divot there is for, if there's going to be an additional hole for the regulators or not. I suppose I should have test fitted one. If the metal's good, I'll just do a little bit of extra welding. If not, I got the whole patch panel, so it'll be just a little bit more work. But as you can see, we got the whole thing. Got a little cleanup. There's some surface rust here. I gotta clean. I gotta treat that with some Osvo, like I always do. Do the best that I can to try and kill all the rust on this vehicle when I see it. There's another spot of the brace. Just grab you guys so you can see what I'm seeing. There's another spot here on this brace. I'm gonna take care and treat that now, because it's easier to do it from here versus when this is sealed and the quarter's out. It's only going to be an area that thick for me to work on. I can get in that really good right now. So I'm going to take care of that. That is the next step here in this process. Then we'll cut out our patch. I still have a little piece of the outer wheelhouse here that I have to remove. Probably a little more than I had to cut off. Honestly, I could have replaced the front half here and then just put a strip here, but I literally have the entire patch panel, so I might as well use it. All right, so here's where I'm at right now. I got the patch cut and I'm getting it ready to final fit. It's roughed in right now. You can see my silver Sharpie mark. I definitely cut past it. And what I did was I stuck my hand behind and I scribed the line where the original steel was. And I did have a little boo-boo right there where I misjudged. And I'll show you what I did. I'll be honest with my mistake. When I laid the old piece on, I laid it on like this, tucked it in. You can see where the mark is. I gave myself a little extra, but I didn't give it enough. No big deal. That's what we got a welder for. It sucks, it's a little bit more work. Anyways, I got this temporary screwed into place. Like I said, I scribed behind so I can grind it close to a flush fit, but I wasn't able to go all the way across. I can't get in this area here because the brace goes down here, which you've guys seen or will see. Did scribe along there so I can drill a couple holes so I can do my spot welds there. So I'm gonna pull these screws out. We're gonna start working on the final fit. Once I got it there, I gotta make a little piece for that, and I'll put some tack welds in to hold it in place. I'm not gonna do the bottom yet. What I wanna do here is I wanna get this also done and get everything screwed in, because right now this rocker's pretty much floating, minus the one self tapper that's on the outside of the quarter panel going into it, but she's loose. So I got to recheck all my measurements, recheck my door gap and everything. I just want to make sure everything is where it needs to be before I lock this rocker in. As stated, I scribed my lines. That's where I gotta, you know, grind up to. We'll freehand the front half. Well, you can see there, that's a good fit right there. The gap got a little big there. I did a little too much with the grinder, but other than that, everything looks good. Another little one there, but that's fine. We'll fill that up with some welding wire. Everything looks good. The contours between the aftermarket and the original don't quite line up here or here, but we'll hammer that into place. This groove lines up pretty good. I gotta make a little piece to put in there. I might actually just start welding now and just put that in after, or get it tacked into place at least. Now I'll pull it off. We gotta clean up all the edges, get all these burrs off of here. I'm gonna make some spot weld holes. We're all prepped and we're ready to burn it in. I just shot in some weld through primer, got all in that area right there real good where I treated with the OSFO, the back side of the panel. We're gonna let that dry. Now, while that's drying, I'm gonna start working on this wheelhouse patch. We gotta start shaping that. We're gonna make that from scratch. So I don't have any more new metal that's big enough to make this patch for my inner wheel tub, which is fine. I still have a bunch of this metal there. You can see it behind the old cow, plus this piece. I have a couple more pieces outside. Either way, let's grab the old pieces. I got it marked out. You can see, here's the old piece that I cut out from here. So I just marked it, rolled it, and I took the opposite side, bent it, and I used it for that edge because, well, it's non-existent on this one. Anyways, looks crude, but we'll get it where it needs to be. You can see that's for the 3/4 inch hole for the plug in the wheelhouse. That is a hole for the alignment. Do I need to drill it? Not really. Will I? I don't know. We'll see when I get there. These are marks for my bends, of course. So I'm gonna drill out this hole first, maybe this one, and then I'm gonna cut it out. There it is. Now, I'm gonna hammer and dolly this a little bit. I gotta put a little curve right there, and I'm gonna stretch this edge just a touch. I want to stretch it along this edge. I got to give this a little roll for the wheelhouse. This going a bit this way. I also need to get it a bit this way. Now I'm gonna do this lip here, and I'm gonna try and hammer and dolly it the rest of the way. I am gonna probably have to put a little bit here, but I haven't screwed in the inner quarter patch yet to try and line that up with it. That'll be the next step. Hey, check that out. We got a nice curve. I don't want to get too crazy. It's not that bad. Very slight curve that way. That one's not coming out as good as I wanted to, but it's such a short piece. And then with the bend right next to it, it's going to make it difficult. I'm going to keep working at it a little bit more, but I'm going to test fit it. I want to see this, how this one's working out right now. The inner wheelhouse patch is now made, ready to go. I blew some weld through primer in the areas that were needed. The rest of it, I will probably just coat with some OSPO to hold the steel. Now, I do want to inform you guys that I did run into a bit of an issue on this car. Well, not an issue. We had something happen, right? You remember earlier in the video, I said that the inner quarter was pretty much all that was holding the rear of the rocker panel in place. Well, it turns out that the rocker decided that it wanted to rotate a little bit on me. So that's where you see this array of ratchet straps here. This one right here pretty much does 90% of what I need it to do. It draws the rocker panel back up and kind of helps twist it back into place. Now I needed a little bit more assistance, so that's where the Impala came into place. So I hooked one right up to the bumper, and as you can see, there's not much pressure. It didn't take much to get what I needed. I got another strap over there that is going around my wood furnace just to, you know, make sure I don't pull this thing off the stands. And how I caught it was, I came out just to look and verify that nothing has changed. And when I did, there was a pretty decent gap between the rocker and the quarter. But you can look, my door gap is still good. The door still opens and closes great. I did check with a level. I did check some measurements. It is 100% where it needs to be. Lucky I caught this before I started burning things in. Anyways, back to the repair. This is set to go, so I need to get this tacked into place. And I'm gonna do it differently now because of my present issues. I'm gonna tack all across here, then screw it into the rocker. So I need to secure it to the body of the car before the rocker, just so I can relieve these straps and it'll hold in place. As for the inner quarter patch, that is tacked all across the top. Zoom you in there. See, I got tack welds all across the top. I pulled my screw out of the bottom to allow the rocker to move, of course. But now we're ready to go. I'm gonna start tacking in that inner wheelhouse. Once I got that secure, the screw into the rocker. Everything is now tacked into place. I got the rocker screwed in on both the inside and the outside. You can see a couple screws right there. It's screwed all along the bottom of the inner quarter. This gap here ended up a little wider than I'd like, but I have my copper backer. We'll fill that in. Everything still looks good here. Nice tight gap to the quarter. Consistent gap all the way across the bottom of the door. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna knock out this inner fender patch, inner wheelhouse patch. I'm gonna fully burn it in. I can't really record this one, guys, because my support that I decided to put is in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out, and I'll bring you guys back when we're working on the inner quarter. fender weld patch is welded in pretty much all the way. There's a small little spot there that I didn't do from the other side, and the reason being is I'm going to be pulling this inner rocker off one more time. You can see there's the penetration. I have a couple spots like right there. I'm going to touch that up. I'm going to do it from the inside, but I got to weld that right there. We're going to finish this because it's only tacked into place, and then I have some spot welds. I'm probably going to stop right here, and my reason for that is simply to leave room for adjustment at this point for the quarter panel. There you have it. I went ahead and I burned the rocker panel in too, but everything has been ground, it's been dressed. I missed these 2 spot welds here. I gotta drill them and weld them. I also gotta weld in my wire harness hold down tabs again. Here's the other side, inner fender weld patch. I'm happy with how everything came out. It looks really good. We're gonna get that all coated with some MOSFET so it doesn't turn. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna knock them wire harness tabs off camera. It's nothing exciting, but the one thing I am looking forward to is I'm actually gonna be done with all the little things inside the passenger compartment. All I got left is to do a little repair on that inner quarter over there, and I'll be done. And I can finally move on to the cowl shoulders, and then we can drop the floor in it. So I'm looking forward to that because I want to see the floor in this thing. That's like a big move, and it's going to be satisfying. But anyways, like always, thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next one.